Hi, welcome to Confessions. I'm your hostess of Light, Jenny Watson. Tonight we'll be talking about connecting to our higher self, our source, our spirit, our soul. It doesn't really matter what you call it, but it's that place from within us that's spiritually all-knowing, all-loving, and all-guiding. Too often we get caught up in this human life where we allow our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotions that are basically designed by others as we've learned through life, instead of letting our own self guide us. So how can we go within and find true joy and happiness and purpose and let our natural light shine? So what we'll be talking about tonight. And joining me tonight is Kathrine Mitchell. She is a psychic medium and founder director of the Aligning Center. Her mission is to empower people to find their own strength, to make changes to their lives, to heal their own spirit, and to understand their own journey through life. Now, I have known Kathrine for almost all of my life, and it is such a pleasure to have her on with me tonight. So welcome, Kathrine, to Confessions.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you for having me.
Oh my
So good to
gosh,
see you.
it's so good to see you too. I'm so excited to have you on. Are you ready to bare your soul?
I I am ready to bare my soul. It's what I do.
I know. Did you ever think that when we met years and years ago that we'd be collaborating like this?
I have to say somewhere maybe, but not quite like this. But it is amazing that you're doing this. I'm so proud of you. And as you said, I know you forever, and you're just doing some amazing things. Really, so excited to be here. I'm honored.
Thank Thank you. I'm honored to have you on. Catherine's been my psychic medium for most of my life, and she's been there with me through many transitions, and she's always blown my mind with every reading. So I have to ask you, when did you first know that you knew? When did you first know? I have to check my grammar. When did you first know that you had this powerful gift?
I want to say that it may have been conscious by 11 or 12, really start utilizing it and trusting it. But I can imagine at 4 or 5 years old, I was feeling things I should do, shouldn't do. That I may have even felt an energy with me. It's a strange thing to say while we're broadcasting, but I would even hear voices. So that's a little scary. You're hearing voices, Kathrine? Yes, voices. But
I think we
it
all
was,
hear voices.
yeah, we do. Yes, and we do. And we hear voices that is in the mind, and we hear voices that are connected to the soul or the essence. And I think for me, a little while there in my young years, there was no question about that my spirit was talking to me, guiding me. It was really, intriguing, and also to think that everyone else had this,
Hmm.
that they could do this. That was, don't you hear this? Don't you feel your way? And of course, when you're 9, 10 years old, children may even say, what? What do you mean? That doesn't make sense. So, but yeah, I would say young, most of my life as far back as I can remember.
So let's talk about these voices. When you say this now, is this your own internal voice, or was this? I know you're also a medium. Was this the voices of others, or did that come later?
Well, I think the voice, my own voice, but my voice is very certain. I can remember
Mm.
feeling like knowing the difference of I have doubt, or like, oh, this sweater doesn't match my socks, being an adolescent and saying, oh, my hair is frizzy. This voice was very different. The voice that I heard was very certain, very clear, no doubt. Yeah, it was very, yeah, so my voice, yes, definitely my voice. And when I say voices, like I made, a little joke as we were speaking earlier, that voices, it sounds silly, but we all have that internal voice. We all
Absolutely.
have that, um, if it's a whisper, if anything. Does that make sense? A whisper, right?
Absolutely. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's my voice, but very certain and very sure. Love that voice.
Yeah. That is a good voice to have. You really should listen to it, everybody.
Yeah, true,
So,
very true.
when did you first know that you can channel those from the other side and act as a medium?
I want to say that, you know what though, I believe that happened very young as well, but I acknowledged it probably in my 19th, 20th year. So I was about 19, 20 when a spirit stepped in and said I'd like to speak to my daughter. It was intense. It made me a little nervous, I think, because it's not something that I had experienced at that level, that multitude of power. And then very briefly, maybe about a year and a half, I started creating a circle, which is called Awaken the Spirit. And we gather, and no doubt, Spirit always speaks. There's always a message of healing or recovery, or, there's peace. So, yeah, I'd say about 19 when I acknowledged it, I allowed it. That was a big responsibility, because it was no longer my voice only, but it was the voice of a child, or a voice of a grandfather, or a mother. And it wasn't my child, it wasn't my mother, my grandfather. So that took me a little bit. But when I acknowledged it and allowed it, it unfolded in such beauty and peace. It was a very amazing moment, amazing year and a half, 2 years. Yeah.
That does sound amazing. So speaking about amazing moments, what's one of the most interesting experiences you've had as you're working with clients over the years? I mean, is there anything like really crazy happened that just sticks out in your mind?
Oh, there's a few. There's a lot. In fact, there's a book somewhere on my shelf that I started writing, and it's about maybe 70% done with the stories of the Awaken the Spirit. I mean, I've been asked to go shopping for people that would attend an Awaken, which is mediumship. And I've been asked to bring, for example, a toy dump truck, and by the name of Tommy. That's the company, Tomy. And I said, okay, I'll buy this dump truck for the client. And they find out that the client is pregnant with a boy, and her husband's name is Tommy, and she's going to name her son Tommy. That was huge. You want to talk about tears and laughter? That's just one. I've also spoken. I think what's really been very special is that I've been able to make contact with my own grandmother and grandparents. To know that they're right with me. There's something very healing about that. Mm-hmm. To know that we do not die. The people that we love and care for, that care for us, they're right here. Yeah. I think that's important. And there's a sense of peace that comes after an Awaken the Spirit session. I think after a lot of the sessions I did. I think we're all searching for answers. We don't think we have them. So people come see me.
So let's talk about that. So what are some of the sessions you do offer people?
I'm sorry?
What are some of the sessions you do offer people?
Okay, we have, I do my most famous, which is a crystal reading, and that is my psychic ability, and I am obsessed with crystals. One of my favorite is a kunzite, and I also use some Indian kyanite, blue kyanite, very beautiful crystals. And I use them to enhance my ability. There's a couple of different levels. If people are looking for their basics, if people are looking for something more intense, my most popular is a second level crystal reading, and that's to understand the soul journey. Something called a soul portrait. I paint the soul's journey, so we call that a soul portrait. Oh, that's so much fun. And then, of course, my Awaken, which is where I cross over. And I do something a little different, which we had briefly talked about earlier, privately, about the lining program, and that is just phenomenal. I mean, teaching people their own power. I mean, I have several clients that are now understanding their own intuition. One of my clients sat with me, and she was telling me about my grandmother and how she crossed. Wow. I'm so proud. You want to talk about really watching a client evolve and grow. So proud. Yeah. So there's different things we do. We also do workshops and classes. Something I love doing. I kind of went off on a venture here. You asked me about sessions, and I'm talking about workshops and classes.
You know what the funny part about interviewing a psychic is? She knows all my questions in sequential order.
This is true. I love it. But what we do recently, let me share this. This is some really big news. For many years, it was Kathrine Mitchell, readings, her website, and recently I made a decision, because of what I'm doing, We are now officially the Aligning Center. I am so excited. And of course, my readings are still there. Our workshops are still there. We're bringing new crystals in, of course, because I had mentioned I am obsessed with crystals. Creating an aromatherapy line that we'll have in the shop. In fact, we have Pandora's products. You've had Alicia Randolph
Alicia.
is on the
Yeah.
show. We have some of her items, some of her protection sprays and oils and stuff. So, it's selected items. So we're not really a retail shop, but we do carry things that a spiritual warrior on his or her journey are going to support the understanding of what they need and how it can help them find their way. So yeah, so I mean, the things are awesome. I can't imagine that things would be happier.
Awesome.
It feels
I
right.
love it. So let's talk a little bit more about connecting to our higher self. Sometimes we get in our own way, our ego, our emotions. We block our spirituality. So what do you do to help you stay in alignment? She's still here? Is she falling off? Mercury retrograde was having fun with us tonight. She could get on, and then she had silly sounds. So while Kathrine is, trying to figure out whether she wants to stay with us or not, I'll talk a little bit more about some of her sessions. She has something called Touching the Soul, and it's a workshop where she has an illumination of your soul portrait, and basically it's watercolors, and you get to paint and see what comes from within your soul out, and it's really amazing. And then she does a reading based off that, so that's really some of the interesting things. She also does monthly workshops where people get together. And Kathrine, you coming back on? Let's wait a little bit while longer. Um, All right. So talking about staying connecting with source, a lot of the things that people do most often, connect through meditation, connect through nature, quiet time. Sometimes it's guided meditation, sometimes it's just moments of silence, whatever works for you. But it's important to take a chunk of time every single day, specifically when you wake up in the morning, to get yourself aligned with your own source, to clear out all the thoughts and beliefs and attitudes that are in your head that are prejudging your day or pre-creating it, and clear that out. And then you can get into a space of receiving whatever is meant to be that day, to come from a place of joy and openness rather than, oh my God, what is the day going to bring me? And it's that kind of connection to yourself that is so important. And then, she was joking about hearing the voices, that you can hear your own voice. And from there, you can grow and you can go in the right path. So that's basically what we're talking about tonight. And she officially dropped off, so hopefully she can drop back on and talk to us. But for those who know Kathrine, she is a spot-on psychic. I mean, I can tell you that once my husband and I were getting a place, and I had a flyer of, they were building it and like what the room was colored. And I went into her and she says, "Oh, I see you moving into this place." And she described this picture, I mean, down to what the color of the carpeting in the picture was. And it just blew my mind. It's like some of those things. And I've had her to my house where she's done home readings with me and my family and friends, and she'd be in my bedroom and she's like, "Your grandma wants to know why you're not wearing your ring." And I just look at her. She goes, "It's in your jewelry box right now, and she wants to know why you're not wearing your ring, and you're not going to lose it, so start wearing it." And we have Kathrine back on.
Jennifer, I'm so sorry. I have no idea what happened.
It's okay. I kept talking.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Good. I apologize.
No, that's okay. I was just talking a little bit about our topic, about how to align to source, and then I went into some stories about how accurate you were and some of the things that you do. But, I started talking about some of your workshops, and I don't know how accurately I described them because I've only been able to attend a few. So tell us a little bit about the Touching the Soul workshop.
Okay, Touching the Soul. Touching the Soul is two parts. There's discussion based on our connection to the source, and then the relationship between you and your divine. And divine has many names. People say God, they say universe, the goddess, whatever that may mean. It all for me means one thing. And we relate to how it is important that we keep an open line of communication, which again aligns with our higher source, or the higher self would be a better word. So when you have that connection, you can relate to a message. There could be information for you on this journey that you're experiencing. So what we do in the workshop is we have that little talk, and then I try not to talk too much because we want to get down to why people have come, and that's the painting. We use watercolors and some watercolor canvas, and we free flow with the paint and the canvas, and there's layers of layers. So if you understand the watercolor medium, it kind of has a life of its own. So it creates something maybe different than what you anticipated. So we'll turn the pictures around, we'll look at it left or right, and there's almost always a message for and from the soul to the person. Beautiful, love them. I have a few that are hung up, so so it's really nice. It's a special experience.
I'm so excited that I explained it correctly.
You did? Good, I'm glad.
I did. Yeah, and I need to get in for one of them. That sounds so so creative and so free and expressive. I love that.
It is, and I believe that there's aspects of art that fuse left and right hemisphere. I mean, there's something very relaxing about just flowing, being, not really having a process or an outcome. We're not striving to create something. It's so natural. Yeah, art is a big part of my life. I'm very lucky to have been able to bring one of some things that are so dear to my heart. Drawing, painting, jewelry making. It's wonderful.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, for people who want to check you out, where can they find you?
Oh, we have my website. I have two. In fact, I have www.kathrinemitchell.com. Kathrine is spelled a little differently. It's Kathrine, then Mitchell. And then the aligning.com, which is www.thealigning.com, and that has the information about the program. In fact, we're doing something at the shop. Touching the Soul is July 18th. And then we have, what do we have? We have Aligning with Trust. It is going to be a 2-hour workshop on 3 levels of trust and how people want to trust and they have challenges with that, and how trusting allows us to be truly at the intuitive state. I can't wait for that. That's something taken. That is called. You're excited. You have to come. I want you to come. But it's called Aligning with Trust, and it's taken out of the Aligning program. So if we were sitting all with the program, we would have maybe 2.5 sessions to discuss these 3 levels of trust. And it's simple, 3 levels of trust. There's psychological, there's basic, and there's internal. And they sound simple. They're not if you don't know which one you're utilizing. So I'm excited about that. That's the 19th. So, yeah, we have a couple of nice things going on.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Sedona during those 2 dates.
You're going to Sedona.
I know, which leads me beautifully to my next question. You recently went out to Sedona yourself and had a profound experience and journey, and now you've used that into furthering your services. And I believe this is where your intuitive yoga came from?
It's my intuitive yoga and the Aligning program, I think, became, it founded itself. But Sedona was interesting. I've been going for many years, and if chat with me later. We'll talk about Cathedral Rock. We'll talk a little bit about the hikes that you need to look at. It's really it's really a beautiful place to be, but it's also a very spiritual place. And I'm not sure if that was your question. I went on an adventure.
Nice.
I went on an adventure because that's what I do, especially when I'm talking about Sedona. But Sedona was. I think it removed the veil for me. It helped me understand, my service to the community. And I've been in service for many years. I've been in service since I'm 11. That's when I started doing my sessions. But this changed when I came back, not this time, but the second to last time. And yeah, it was intense. It was intense.
I love it. I'm excited to go now. know.
I'm so excited
I
for
was
you. I can't
excited
wait to hear about
before,
it.
but
Pardon?
yeah, so we will. We'll talk about that after.
Yes, please, please.
Definitely. So what else? Do you have anything else that you want to share with anybody about what you do or any of your history?
Well, you know what I want to share, I think, which is really important. I have a name. My name is Kathrine Mitchell, and I have a label based on my practice of business. It's a psychic, intuitive, healer, medium. You know, we want to be careful with psychic. We want to be careful with medium because there's a lot of expectations. And when I do my reading, which is most of my work requires me to be centered and be able to tap into the energy of the client. I am not about giving you a name or giving you an address or telling you, go do this. The sessions are really for empowerment. It's for guidance to help you understand this is what we have. What are you going to do with it? Find your power. And this I love about my work. And I believe that if you're seeking out a session, and I know a lot of my clients that refer me say, Kathrine is not about the fluff. You know, it's not only about the boyfriend or the job. If you want to know your soul's journey, if you want to know what is it that you have within you, then go see Kathrine.
Yep.
And that I think is what I would like to share because you know it's that I think that's what it's about. Once you know your purpose, once you know that you're supported and safe on that path, you will just unfold into that. And it's that simple. Sometimes we need facilitating though. Sometimes we need a little support. Sometimes we need a little, okay, here you go. Don't have a chocolate candy bar for breakfast. You know, because that's
I'll tell
not
you
a
what to
good
do.
way. Sorry, love. It's not the best way to start out your day. Have some oatmeal. Have a banana and some multigrain flakes, you know, or whatever that may be. But sometimes you need that. And when we don't have that, we feel lost. You're not lost. There's a multitude of opportunities. You know, take a yoga class. Go sit by a tree. You know, there's reach out to a friend. You know, take a nap. Then take care of yourself, and clarity will be there. And you know, that's my thoughts because I really believe that if you have that knowledge that you're safe, as you have that knowledge that you know there's something going on within me, I just don't know. You know, whatever you're going through, you will discover it. Whatever you're going through is temporary because a lot of the clients come see me when they're having a hard time. So I think that would be something. Again, I went on an adventure. I went on and on and on. I love it.
I know. I think that was beautifully said. I think it needed to be said, and I think you were guided to say it because it is important. I think people get labeled, and they don't see that beyond the labels is really our craft and our purpose and our service to the world. And people can't be blinded by that. You know, like even doctors. Oh, they're medical. No, they're here to help facilitate as well. You to health.
I agree.
So, and that's basically all we are. And if we can, I think it's a great point. If we can cut the labels, then stop looking at me at this awesome TV online personality and just see that I'm a facilitator of information and awareness.
I'm going to see you as both, love.
I love it! All right, so we're up to the part of our show that's confession time. And the irony is not lost on me that when I decided to do the show, and it's about, I think tomorrow is my official 1-year anniversary since I aired.
Congratulations!
Thank you! Woo!
Awesome.
And when I designed this, confession time was a way of shedding light on the darkness. We all have some dark moments that we go through, and we're here to shine light on that so that we can help others. And when Kathrine shared her confession, she pretty much used the words, I had to battle my darkness to find my light. So I find that it's like no coincidence on like my kind of anniversary episode before my anniversary episode that here she is reiterating what Confessions is all about. So if you wouldn't mind sharing your journey, talking a little bit about what that, transitioning or identifying the darkness and how you came to your light.
We mentioned Sedona and how appropriate because Sedona has opened up so many levels of understanding me and my journey, and again, without the label, without being just, a female, a mom, a psychic, but seeing me as a energy that is in service here. So to break that down in a way, we all are, let me try that again. I am, not we, but I am doing my best up until this moment. And when we are focusing on what our best is for another, or we're looking to the environment for what is it that I need. So me being in service had become my life. And this is a good thing. But there is more to my journey than being a psychic or being a female and being a mother, which these things are one of the most profound acts in my life. I'm proud to be a female. I enjoy being a mother. And of course, being in service as an intuitive and a healer or medium, that's it. My life is complete. But up at that point, when I had come back from Sedona 3 years ago, I had an experience with the darkness. And the darkness was the fear of what would happen if I didn't have this, if I didn't have this label as a mother, or if I didn't have my service. And the veil was removed. I saw the truth. And the truth was, I am on a journey. And that journey is within, not anywhere but where I am right now. And I guess to really, because this is hard, wow, that's a heavy time in my life.
Breathe through it, girl. I'm here.
Thank you. To be in the dark and not know anything other than what you've seen, you have to go and find the light within. There is no light switch. There is no husband. There is no house. There is no job. Nothing. And that light illuminated from within. And life was dramatically altered. I can never be rocked. Now the darkness for me is where I have best vision for my psychic experiences. The dark is nothing to be afraid of. There's another word for the dark. It's called the unknown.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if I don't have a name, if I don't have a business, who am I? And I think a lot of our environment, a lot of our community is dealing with this, and we won't get into this now because we'll be here for a few hours. We talk about television, we talk about mass market media. These things represent identity. The sneaker, the drink you drink, the car you drive, if you're straight hair or curly hair. These things are not your core. You are at the core essence. You are an energy. And I knew that, Jennifer. I knew that before. But I now live it. And that's the aligning program. The aligning program gently and with compassion helps you find you, bring you back home. So you don't need something to feel whole. You wear a sneaker that has a name brand because you want to, not because you need it, because you are whole. You express your light, share your light. You're not searching for that light from something or someone else. So that is really, that's profound for me. I haven't talked about it in a little while, and I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it for anything in the world because I wouldn't be the woman I am now. Thank you for letting me share that.
No, thank you for sharing that. That's profound for me too. Everybody's confession is always profound for me, but that I'm like tearing up as I listen to you. I think you're right. I think everything is from within, and when we look so often to external sources like another person, or you're right, like money, or to define who we are, and I'm getting and it's really not. And we all have a darkness, and we all have the light to shine on it. And I love how you said that, you know, the darkness is the unknown, and we shouldn't be afraid to step into it because the light is right there. The little flashlight is right there. We'll
Yeah,
always see through.
it is. It's very true.
Awesome. Well, Kathrine, it has been a half hour already, if you could believe it or not, how fast that goes.
Wow, that
I know, like,
yeah, so
like
quick.
that. So, any final words that you'd like to share with us all?
You know, I think my words would be that this life we live is a journey. That all things are temporary on it. You know, be patient with yourself, be compassionate. Always remain in your center, and the word center means peace. Work on that. Always come home to that. And that's where intuition lives. And that's where you will know what is best for you. That is where the light lives. I like that.
Love that. We're now going to quote you. So, Kathrine, thank you so much for being on Confessions. I had a blast chatting with you, like always, but this was even funner.
Thank you so much. Me too. So much fun. Your pleasure.
So much fun. So to check Kathrine out, I will be putting her links underneath the video, kathrinemitchell.com and thealigning.com. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll have all the proper spelling so you can find her easily, no problem. So definitely check her out. She's a beautiful soul, as you can see, and it's been an honor having her on tonight. I am Jenny Watson. I'm a personal empowerment coach, and you can find me at jennifer-watson.me. And if you're interested in coming to my show and confessing, you can find me at jenny@jennifer-watson.me. So since Mercury retrograde last week played a little trick on me and shut down all my systems and I couldn't do my anniversary show, next week, I've rescheduled it where a bunch of guests are going to come back on and start asking me questions. Now, I wonder if I'm going to confess or not. Tune in next week, next Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, to see if I will. Thank you so much for tuning in this and every week. I appreciate your love and support of me and my wonderful guests. Namaste and embrace your power.